Sports. I want to welcome you to my call, and I'm going to be talking about or addressing the question when somebody says that they don't have the money for the products or it's too expensive. I can't afford the products. In network marketing 40 years. I started in this business totally broke, sold a junk truck to get started, put $200 into my business. In the last 27 years, I've been full-time in network marketing. So I'm going to see, the questions that some asked, and Andrina in Texas, she asked the question that, these are, what I like about these questions, these are common issues that affect all of us. And it's been like that for decades. So, so that's a good thing. So she asked the question, how do you handle the I can't afford the products objection? I can't afford the products objection. There's different ways to handle that. And sometimes people will say they word it differently. Sometimes they'll say the products are too expensive. How many of you heard that? My reply to that is, as compared to what? Because most all of you market products that you can't find in stores. That's what makes network marketing companies so great, is that they market products that are unique and they have to be explained. And how many of you go into stores and there's nobody there to explain anything? So that's quite a common problem. Even if you go to a GNC, it's like, yeah, they have hired help, but they don't know anything about their products. But so sometimes when people say that, oh, it's too expensive, I'll say, as compared to what? And then they'll like, it's like deer eyes at night, Anyway, and then I'll say, well, listen, let me explain why this is so unique and get into it. But in principle, that's sort of how I handle about I can't afford the products. Because really, my attitude is you can't afford not to be on these products. I mean, that's the feeling I come with. But that's not what I start with. What I try to do is to overcome an objection. What I try to do is, first of all, and Andrina probably did this great. But what I see with some people is they just don't explain their products very well. And then when they get that reply that I can't afford the products, they really can't afford the products. It's just that they just don't see the value in it. So first of all, make sure that you do a good job in explaining that. Now, do that without being a scientist, okay? And if you got a video that really sells it well, then I recommend using the video. Yeah, if you're sitting at a coffee shop with them, look at it together. If they're long distance and you want to send them the link, and then just say, hey, I'm going to call you right after you see this, then just do that. Because, you know, the old saying, a picture is worth what? 1,000 words. That's really true. Well, if that's true for the picture, what about a video? It's even more. So I always recommend using that video if you have that video. And then here's the thing. Now, here's the other thing. Let's say that you did the greatest presentation on the product, and you sent the video and all that, and they still came back with, I don't have the money, I can't afford it. Then I would take the sympathetic approach and say, wow, really? Is it just difficult? Is it just that difficult in other areas of life as well? Or do you, in other words, are you financially challenged in other areas of life? And many times they'll come back and say, well, yeah, that's the whole thing, man. I'm financially challenged. And then I would say, well, how does that feel? Do you see that changing? How does that feel, and do you see that changing? Now, that question, do you see that changing, is important because you got to get them thinking. Because a lot of them don't think that. They live day by day, day by day. They're like the hamster on the hamster wheel, They're just running, but they're in the cage. And they don't think about life outside the cage. So do you see that changing? And if they say, yeah, I'm getting a great job tomorrow and, I'm going to be making great money. Oh, great, man. I'll be back here next week. Maybe you could afford that product then, but that's not usually the answer you get. Usually the answer you get is, no, I really don't see it changing. Because whatever they're getting paid is what they're getting paid. And not much changes. And so that's the thing. And so then when you ask the next question, what if I can show you something that would change all that, where not only you could afford the product, but you can make some great money? Would that be of interest to you? Now, the reason why I'm doing that is because now I'm taking more of a business approach. See, the real problem is, if they're being honest, the real problem is money, lack of resources and all that. And the best product you can sell at that point is not your product. The best thing you can sell at that point is your business. And when I say to them, do you see that changing anytime soon? And they say, well, probably not. But what if I could show you something that would change that? Would that be of interest to you? Get good at asking questions. And see, here's the thing. They may not have money for your product, to buy your product. But if you show them a simple plan, and you know how to do that, most of you know how to do that, how to show somebody, if you take this action, this is the result you're going to get. I mean, do you know, you could ask the question, hey, do you know some people out there that feel challenged in their health, they're stressed, they want to lose weight, they're just looking for nice health alternatives so that they can have a happier life physically? Do you know enough people like that out there? Well, I know tons of people out there like that. There you go. See, now we're making them aware that they already know people that want to buy the product that they say they can't afford. So that's always my approach with those kind of people, is use that business approach. And then here's the other thing too, by the way, for those of you that live in countries where, maybe they don't want to do the business. Maybe it's more, you have a more of a retail mindset. Here's the thing. I want you to get people to buy your products. You probably in your company have more than one product, right? I don't care if it's toothpaste. If that's all they can afford, I want them to buy the toothpaste. But you need to find customers and find business builders. I can tell you in the Philippines, for example, think about it. If anybody can't afford the product, it's in the Philippines, right? in the Philippines, very poor country. I think the average person earns $1 to $3 a day. If you're educated and got a decent job in the city, you might make $10 a day. And we, my team over there markets a product that's $80. $80? Now wrap your mind around that. How is that possible? If the average person earns $1 to $3 a day, and an educated person's going to earn 10, how can they afford an $80 product? It's impossible. Who can afford it, right? Andrina, who can afford that? And yet I've got a team over there does about $1.5 million every month. You know how they do it? They sell it one capsule at a time. Wrap your head around that. So in other words, you got to get creative. Sometimes your company might have a sample pack, whatever, or you can sell samples or whatever. You get creative. Or maybe that's not the product that they really need. Maybe it's something else. But in other words, the point is you find something to introduce them to so that they're on your product. But again, I prefer the business approach, okay? And really, for example, in the Philippines, since I brought that up, that's one of many countries that I've worked in, and I can tell you that it's the business approach that really attracts a lot of people. Now, the retailing they do simply because they're retailing. They need immediate money. At the same time, they want to build a business and then not have financial stresses. So those are some of the thoughts. Again, get good at asking questions, and then Lexus is right there. He's down in Cebu, Philippines. And so he knows what I'm talking about here. So just amazing, but get good at asking those questions. Have the sympathetic approach. Wow, really? When they say, oh, I can't afford it. Oh, wow, really? Is it just as difficult in other areas of your life? Are you financially challenged? Now, yeah, I am. Wow, what's that like? What's that like? In other words, how do you really feel about that? And do you see a change in anytime soon? Wake them up. Now come in with the solution. If I could show you a way that could change that, would you be interested? Now, before they may not have been so much interested in spending all that money for the product. Now they're laying out 3 or 4 times the amount of money simply because you've convinced them that having a business selling that product is worth having. Now all of a sudden, they can afford to be on the product. It's a miracle. Just some thoughts to keep in mind. So let's go to Carlos Palma. And how are you doing, Carlos, my friend? Are you in the classroom? Excuse me. Carlos, he says, my question is the following. When you do everything right, and so far everything is going smooth, how do you close? How do you close? Carlos, if you have a wife or a girlfriend, how did you close her? Same thing, man. Same thing. I mean, she is sold on you. You are the deal, man. You look good. You sound good. You even smell good. Then the next step is so easy. You got her. Let's go out on a date. Let's get married. Whatever the next step is, okay? So here's the thing. So then I'm just saying, everything's going your way. So now it's time to dance. It's time to dance because there's no resistance. If everything's going your way, that means you're doing a good job. But all of a sudden, you're putting on the brakes. But the brakes is not coming from your prospects. It sounds like it's coming from you. Why? Why are you doing that? Okay. And yes, I've done that. So I'm not going to play the hypocrite here. And, I have done that. There's different reasons why we do that. I'm not going to, be so arrogant to assume I know your reasons, okay? I'm just throwing out what's common. What are common roadblocks or speed bumps that we put between us and the prospect? Some of that is the fact that we have a hard time just asking them to take action. We just don't want to pressure them. I don't want to pressure them. I want them to tell me, how do I join? Where's the app? What do I do next? How do I get the products? It doesn't work that way. I mean, they're sending all the right signals, just like your girl did, okay? Then, that's it. They're saying, hey, I want to come on board. Would you please bring me on board? But sometimes we have that problem, just asking them, to make a decision. We don't want to pressure them. Second, sometimes it has to do with the money. I don't want to ask them to spend money. Oh my gosh, what's the cheapest thing I can sell in our line that we make? Well, toothpaste. Yeah, I'll bring him in on toothpaste. Everybody can afford toothpaste, right? Okay. And here's the other thing too, and this is the third that I find that's common. We don't know what to do next. When they say, yeah, I'm interested. And we go like, really? Oh, and inside, oh my God, what am I going to do? What do I do next? How do I onboard this person? I feel like a total loser. I'm not successful in this. How can I help this person be successful when I'm not successful? If I try to bring them in, it's going to create massive pain because you'll probably feel like me, like a total loser. Now, I'm not saying you feel that way, Carlos. I'm not saying that's you. I'm saying it's common. I'm saying there's something going on in your brain that's stopping you. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to get over it, okay? So here's the thing is just understand that you're not creating any pressure in their life. In fact, you're releasing the pressure by bringing them in your business. This person has dreams. They have goals in life. They have things that they want to do. They saw something in your presentation. You obviously did a good job. Or you're using a good tool. Doesn't matter. Either or. Okay? So I congratulate you on that. You're doing all the things right. What you got to do then is ask them to make the decision. That's what you want to do, is say, okay, this sounds like you're ready to get started. That would be my reply back to them. Say, wow, I'm so glad you enjoyed the video, the presentation, or what I just said. Sounds like you're ready to get started. And when they say, yeah, say, awesome. Let's go ahead and get this application filled out, or I'll send you my link. You can put in your information. And I'm looking forward to working with you, John. John, you know what? We're going to have a lot of fun and make some great money together. I'm going to be with you all the way. I really look forward to working with you. You keep it positive. You don't have to begin the training. And here's the thing. If you're not clear about your onboarding system, talk to your upline. If that upline is not clear, talk to his upline. If that upline is not clear, talk to his upline. If he's not clear, pray to God. Call me. I'm not God. Okay. Message me and I'll give you some ideas. But here's your attitude. Your attitude needs to be, I have what they've been looking for all their life, and I'm privileged to be the message bearer. So that needs to be your attitude, that you have what they've been looking for all their life. All you got to do is give it to them. And so don't see that, it's not about what costs them to join. It's what costs them if they don't join. It's going to cost them an incredible future that they could have had with you. So there's the reasons. Identify the reasons. You can message me if I miss something, and I'd love to help you out, man, on that. And so Brandon, let's talk about Brandon Flood. He says here, Brandon, he says, Jeff, when one of your leaders hits the next rank in your company, what do you do for them? Okay, so I don't know if you mean one of your leaders hit a rank that you haven't hit. If that was the case, maybe I could be wrong on the way I'm reading that. It's just the way you worded that, it made me feel that way. I could be wrong on that. Yeah, we'll go with both scenarios. So if he hits or she hits a rank that you haven't hit, don't feel like you're inferior to that person at all. Don't. Just commend them, sing their praises, tell them how great and awesome they are, because they are great and awesome, okay? Even if they're doing better than you, that doesn't make you a dummy. That doesn't mean that they're better than you in the business. They simply found some good people. Let's not make this out to be any more than it has to be. They found some good people and some good things happened. Okay? Now, you may not be having that in some of your other legs. And nice to see you, Nicole. You may not have that going on in your other legs yet. Later, it's about persistence. It's about persistence. So continue to give that person support. Now, let's just say they hit a rank that, maybe the same rank as you or maybe a lesser rank. It doesn't matter. Here's the thing. When you have people that are working the business, they're running, they're engaged, they are in a state of engagement, how long do you run with them? It's like the interstate. When you have an open lane, how long do you, when you take that open lane, you've been in traffic, finally got an open lane. How long do you stay in the open lane? As long as you can. That's what you do. And that's what you do with a leader. When you have a runner, somebody that's really serious, how long do you stay with them? As long as you can. Why? Because you want to run with that person so they get incredibly deep with people. And in the event, if the leader drops out, quits, you got a whole bunch of people there to work with. On the other hand, if the leader stays, it's great. Just pour it on, because you're going to make a lot of money from that leg. So then just do that. Now let's go on to Brandy Sim. How do I consistently generate more leads to get more people to sign up? So how do I consistently generate more leads? So she's not working a warm market. And I always recommend when people come in the business, I don't recommend going into marketing. Why? Because marketing takes time to build. It takes time for you to build rapport with some people. It takes time when you don't know these people, they're total strangers and they don't know you. It takes time to build that, okay? So I always prefer the warm market approach. But now let's assume that she does not have the warm market. I've been there, okay? So how do you generate more leads? Well, here's the thing. You're either going to pay for those leads. So you're either going to do, let's say, Facebook advertising, and you're going to pay for those leads. You're going to put out maybe a lead magnet or something that maybe if you want to put out something about your product, or if it's a video training, whatever. The point is, if it's a video training and it's hey, learn the 7 secrets to becoming a 7-figure earner in network marketing, and all they have to do is enter their email address and they get a free training. You capture the email address, build your email database so that you can drip on them maybe 2 or 3 times a week, emailing them. I know several leaders that do that, and they just build their email database and drive people to another training, drive them to something, drive them to working with you, So that's That's something. The other thing that you can do, if you don't want to pay for it, then here's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to get good at working it. You're going to have to get good at getting into your Facebook network and start engaging with those people. And that means liking their posts and all that. You know, it's too one-sided with so many people in Facebook. It's all about me, all about me. I don't want to engage with you, but I want you to engage with me, you know. That's the attitude. That's not social. That's not social. The other thing you can do is, and I'm not saying you're doing that, but I'm saying that you're going to have to engage if you want to create leads. The other thing is get in Facebook groups. You know, now don't go in there with your product to show them your opportunity. The admin will kick you out in a New York second, okay? But get in there and develop those relationships, contribute. You know, you can be in multiple Facebook groups. Find something that complements what you do, and then you can generate leads that way. So Johansel, Sid, are you present in the classroom? No. Anyway, good question here. I understand where he's coming from. He says, my question is, when you talk about tools, like your 10-minute video, and in terms of personal branding, is it recommended to use tools which display great leaders with great results, or is it more recommendable for starting leaders to produce a video of their own, even if they don't have results yet? Is it better to self-present or to edify those who already have results like you? So, good question, very good question. And here's the thing about that. You know, it really just depends. Not everybody's going to be good. Matter of fact, most are not going to be good at doing their own video. I'm sure you'll agree with that. So, they don't have the confidence yet, because they're going to do that. They're going to think that very thing that you're talking about is, I don't have any success. I don't have anything to talk about. Okay. So here's the thing. If you're comfortable in doing your own video, and keep in mind, you don't have to have success to explain something that would be good for others. Keep in mind, we're teachers. That's all we are. We are teachers. And so we teach people how to teach people, how to teach people, how to teach people. That's the whole duplication process, right? So if you're cool with getting in front of just setting up your smartphone and hitting the on button, and you do your own YouTube, and then you're explaining then that's great. Go ahead and do it. You want to explain your opportunity, your product, or you want to basically give them a very short presentation, maybe an action step on, if you just did this and this is what you would get. If that interests you, then please respond back to me ASAP. And, you know, if you want to do your own, that's perfectly fine. Keep in mind, you do not have to be successful and make a lot of money in order to go out and get people in this business. Keep in mind, we were all broke when we started. At least I was. I didn't have a job and all that. So most people that start in a business like this don't start with a great income. So then how did they do it? Well, yeah, some use the tools. And if there's a good tool out there, then that's fine. Keep in mind, I want you to understand something. Don't be afraid of the question when they ask you, well, how much money are you making? I mean, how many of you, very few people like that question, right? When they're getting started, because it's not fair. It's just not fair. It's not fair because they just got started. So the best thing to do is just say right up front, you know what, that's a good question. I just really got started. Or I just really made up my mind to get started in this business. You might have been in your company a year or longer, and maybe you're just using the products, or you're trying to wrap your head around this business, what it's all about. Maybe you're just given the wrong training or the wrong steps about what to do. Now you found somebody that really knows what they're talking about, and now you know what to do. Well, that's your go date, okay? So then when they ask you, well, how well are you doing? Say, hey, that's a good question. I really just got started. But if you're asking me if there's people that are making money that have done very well, yeah, I'd be glad to introduce you to some of them. They're part of my upline. You can ask them yourself how the business is going and you know what they did to get it there. That's the best way to handle that. And because it's honest, and here's the other thing too. If they're looking for a way out, saying, well, because you're not successful, I'm not interested. No. If the question is, that, you see, because don't make yourself the issue. And that's what I'll say to anybody. Oh, well, I'm not the issue, okay? If your question is, are there people making money with this? Is that your question or just me? Oh, no. Well, I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, well, great. So then what I can do is I can introduce you to some of those people. And then you can get your questions answered because I'm really new at this. See, just handle it that way. And that way you're not the expert. I hate it when I have to be the expert. I don't want to be the expert. I like to deflect it. And I like to teach my leaders how to deflect it. Okay? Then they come to Jeff. Hey, no, you got to handle this now because I told them I'm not the expert. You're the expert. Okay. Okay. So anyway, but you can do your own video. And Susie says, what does Susie say? How do I become a good leader? Even though sometimes leaders in our personal experience have ups and downs, I don't want to send a bad vibe to my team. We want to keep the team going positive. How can we manage that? Well, I'll tell you the truth, Susie, good question. You know, very good question. Here's the thing. None of us were born leaders. It reminds me of a story when a man went in this small little Italian town. He was a tourist, and he saw this man sitting in a chair outside in front of a store. And he went up to the man and he said, hey, were there any leaders born here? And the man said, no, just babies. Just babies. I want you to understand. Nobody is born a leader. Nobody walks into this business as a leader. We learn our way. But you can do very well. I mean, really think about it. The fact that you stepped up and you have a team, if you have a team, then you have influence. Leadership is influence. And the fact that you have a team means you influence some people to join. Now, that doesn't make you a perfect leader. I'm not a perfect leader, okay? Okay, we're all trying to sharpen our edge, right, at what we do. And that's why we have to do that. We just keep showing up. And really, most of the success that you're going to experience in network marketing is a result of just showing up. You can be a freaking Gomer Pyle and just show up and get rich in this business. You can. You can be a Forrest Gump, if you don't know what Gomer Pyle is. You could be a Forrest Gump, you know, and just show up. It's all about showing up consistently. So if you show up with your people, they're going to respect that. That's the key. But keep in mind, leadership is about helping others to fly, and that's what you want. Now, you can go to some of John Maxwell's books, Susie. He's written some great books on leadership. There's several of them. I have them here at the house. And there's just several that are great books that you can read. So I would encourage you to do that. But, you know, just understand you don't have to be something you're not. Because we get that in our head sometimes. We think, oh my gosh, you know, if I'm ever going to grow this to greatness, I got to be somebody else. I mean, I got to be like so-and-so that I saw on the stage. Well, you should have saw what they looked like 4 years ago, Susie. They were not that sharp. I mean, I'm a whole different person now than I was 15 years ago. A whole different person. Why? Because I consistently showed up. And then keep in mind, if your people refuse to grow and go, then you have to find the right people who want growth and they want to be leaders. And that's the whole key. The most important thing about leadership is that understand you have to teach others how to lead. Don't make this about you. If you make it about you, you're dead. You're dead in this business. And that's the thing. As soon as you can duplicate that and get them to step up and do the things that you do, you're on the path to financial freedom. Because because if not, you're just trading time for money. So anything else, message me. So Gary, how do you say that? Corner. I hope I got that right, Gary. Where do you find quality business partners with the chatter of social media on the internet? People are distracted and scroll without paying attention to anything. How do you stop the scroll to attract them or find places for quality cold leads? Thanks, I appreciate you. Well, those are all good questions. I don't know. My son might just tell you, my 11-year-old son, he's into TikTok, okay? I don't do TikTok. But I'll tell you what, when I see some of the stuff he posts, I'm like, what? He gets me to look at it, okay? I don't recommend that for you. I'm not going to do it either. Okay. So, and you're right. There's a lot of noise out there on social media. That's what it is, noise. Okay. So, and then how do you get people to pay attention without scrolling? Then, here's what I would do. They're going to scroll. People are going to scroll my page too. And, there's a lot of professional scrollers out there. And you're welcome, Susie. A lot of professional scrollers. This is going to be about you engaging with people. That's the key thing here, okay? So, and you might want to get into LinkedIn and really start learning LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is a professional platform, okay? That's a different platform than Facebook. Facebook is all about people just socializing, sharing what their family's doing, sharing the recipe, sharing the exercise they're doing in the gym, whatever, okay? And then Instagram, that's a whole different animal too. What I recommend that you do is, if you're looking for, because you said quality business partners, then that might be something that you want to look at, getting good at LinkedIn. And LinkedIn, yes, there is a learning curve to it, but you might enjoy that. I know different leaders do that. I really don't do it, okay? But I hear good things from other people that do. So it's not like I'm recommending you to do something that I didn't do that I don't think is good, when I know others are doing well with it and I hear the results they're getting. It's just I don't need to do it, okay, I guess is the biggest issue. It's not an issue, but that's something I would do. Now, Casey asks, I probably know the answer to this. Of course you do. That's the reason why you're posting it. I'm just messing with you, okay? So, but what about when you have downline jumping ship to the newest and greatest opportunity? Well, just go by their house at night, throw bricks through their windows. I don't know. But no, here's the thing. Okay, a couple of things I just want to share on that thought, okay? And that's this. What you want to do is just understand this is going to happen, okay? This is going to happen. If they quit jobs, quit school, quit marriages, they're going to quit you. That happens. And people just quit. That's what they do. And they'll go to another company. Now, here's some things I just want to suggest. Number one, and try to get good at this, Casey. I tell you, one of the best companies out there in terms of training is Amway. And I'm not in Amway, okay? But I'm just saying, what I always admired is that they're how they could get people to stay focused on the business. One thing that you need to probably work on is do trainings from time to time that teach the importance of focus, that you want to be successful, you want to achieve your dreams, but understand this, there are going to be people out there that are going to want to stop you. There are going to be people out there going to want to make sure that you don't succeed in this business. And here's how they do. They do that by getting you to look at their opportunity. That's what you don't need to do. Just shut them down. Don't even listen to them. It's like, why do horses have blinders? In a Kentucky Derby, you see a race going on, they put the blinders. They don't want the horse looking at the horse next to them. They don't. They want them to look forward, and just go after it. Go crazy. Run as fast as you can. That's what that horse is supposed to do. That's why it has the blinders. You just start doing trainings on the fact of the importance of focus, the importance of remaining dedicated to your future. There wasn't a better company that was good at doing that than Amway in terms of their training. And that's the reason why they're still number one in the world, okay? Do they have the best compensation plan? No, not in my opinion. Still a great company. But I'm just saying, but they have some of the best training because they had to get good at creating a culture that kept their people in. And that's the one thing that if you want to stop the leakage, if you want to stop the amount of people leaving your team, create good culture. Make people feel very warm and fuzzy and welcome and accepted and recognized. Those are all very important things that you need to do. And then train them the importance of just, hey, don't look at other opportunities. If you want to achieve your dreams, just shut them down. They come, and I'm telling you, I did that 21 years ago. When I got started my first 90 days, I had people calling me all the time. Hey, Jeff, I just got into something. It's the most unbelievable. There's nothing like it out there. This company, they got deep pockets. They got a compensation plan that pays out more money than any, and I would say, hey, stop. Listen, I cannot listen to your presentation. You know this to be true. You cannot get anywhere or achieve any success if you're not focused, right? Right, yeah. Great. Well, I'm focused. And you should be focused. So you go do whatever you're doing, and 3 months, 4 months from now, let's just compare notes, see how we're doing, and I wish you the best. But I got to put my time in this. I got to stay focused on this. If I give you my time, then that means I'm taking it from something else that I need to be giving it to my future. I need to be giving it to my people. I cannot look at what you have. Cannot do it. I'm focused, man. I got my blinders on. And that's how I handled every call that came through. First 90 days. Guess what? Built a great team. Guess what? Taught my leaders the same thing. Put your blinders on. So, having said that, that's important, Casey, because you got to understand, you're going to have people leave. You're going to have people go away. Question is, how many of them do you want to go away? How many people do you want to lose? If you got a big leak on the boat, fix it, right? And here's the other thing too. If they do leave, then give them a guilty conscience on the way out, like doing it this way. Hey, Casey, wow, man, I'm so disappointed that I'm losing you. You're a friend. I value you. I appreciate you. I really do. And I wish you the best. But I really hope one day you'll come back. I do love you. Ooh. Boy, they're going to think about that, aren't they? And I'm going to tell you, I've used that. And I use it sincerely, okay? I'm not playing a game, okay? And guess what happens? And when it doesn't work out in the other company because everybody's blowing smoke, everybody's blowing rainbows, and they get over there and they find out, hey, it's the same thing. It's all about work. But, the way Jeff made me feel, Casey's coming back. That's right. Because I treated Casey better. I treated her like gold on the way out. When she gave me the news and she expected me to get mad and yell and all those things that I didn't do, and she's shocked, and how I just told her how much I valued her and how much I'm going to miss that. Gave her a guilty conscience on the way out, right? She's going to think about it. So the other thing, if your team is talking about it in a Facebook group, if it's going, the best thing to handle that is, you know what? say nothing but nice things about Casey. I'll go into the group and just say, hey, everybody, I know some of you have been talking about the fact that Casey left us. You know, I don't really know why Casey did. But, you know, we'll just wish her the best. And maybe, and I hope she'll be back with us one day in the future. So in the meantime, you know, let's just wish her the best and let's stay focused on what we're doing. And that's it. Don't talk about it. Don't gossip about it. And don't trash Casey. That's the way to handle it. And then when Casey comes back, it's like the prodigal son. Oh my gosh, she's back. Casey's back. And Casey doesn't feel embarrassed. Casey doesn't feel like she has to re-earn her trust to the team. She can just come back, get in the saddle, and keep moving. And that's what we want. So that's the best way to handle it. And that's the way, I don't know, my best way of handling it. So then we have, George, okay, so George has what do we got here, George? George sent me something. George sent two things. Yeah, two things. George sent, excuse me. Shall we create prospecting video in a local language? This is by Prashant in India about having, all right, so some of you are in companies and your videos are in English. You may not have them in multiple languages. And if you go to India, where the dialects are like thousands of dialects, you know, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Prashant is doing it in the local language because they need to understand, you know, what your product's about, what your opportunity is about. Anytime it's in a language they know. And again, keep in mind, you don't have to have a Hollywood production here. YouTube is free. I mean, you can take your smartphone and do a good video and, you know, it does the job. You're explaining your product, your opportunity, and you're giving an action plan on what they have to do to achieve an end result that most people can do. So Jenny says, this is Jenny in North Carolina. What do you think about accepting Facebook requests from people in your company if you are doing your business in social media? Good question, Jenny. So Jenny is saying, all right, so here's the thing. I think where Jenny's coming from, we understand that, and I say we understand, if we understand really what our Facebook page is really about, and I didn't understand it when I joined Facebook, okay? I was a total doofus, okay? So used to, it was a page that we just kept up with our friends, family, neighbors, schoolmates, people like that, right? And then we understood later that, you know, when we got into network marketing, wow, this is a very valuable tool. And so now I want to use it as a prospecting page, for example. In other words, you want to add people to it that you're prospecting. And then you're putting out value, and hopefully you're going to get people, you know, raising their hands saying, hey, I'd like to try your products, or I'd like to know more about your business, or I'd like to know more about what you're doing. What a lot of people do, though, is they will add their own distributors into the page, and I'm challenged by that very much, okay? Because I have 700,000 distributors around the world in 57 countries. Think about it. Facebook only allows 5,000 on a page, right? So, Jenny, here's what I recommend. That if too many of your company's distributors are sort of sending you friend requests, just have a pre-written message that you can copy and paste. Say, hey, I'm so glad you sent me a friend request. That was so kind of you. Here's what I'm asking people in my company to do. Since my page is in a public setting, it's, you know, you got to set to public, okay? Anybody can see your page. Now, if you have it friends only, then it's only friends only can see it. So if you want to use Facebook as a prospecting tool and you want to add people to it that will be your prospects, and you want people who are not yet your prospects to see what you're doing on your page, they can't see your page if you don't have it in a public setting. have it in a public setting. Now, don't put confidential information about yourself in your bio or anything, okay? So just, that's it. It's a tool, right? But just, write out a message, Jenny. Say, again, here's what I'm asking people in my company to do is click on follow me and then select see first. And then you'll see every time I go live, every time I post, you're going to see my material and we're connected. It's as if I accepted your friend request. So, and just handle it that way. And then tell them I've got so many prospects I'm adding to my page. I don't have a lot of room for distributors, but what I want you to do is it's in a public setting. Just click follow me. And I got a lot more people that follow me that are in my network, okay? And then say we're connected. And I look forward to engaging with you. So you just keep it positive, that's all. And that's what I recommend that you do in those kind of situation. So, and that's it, I guess, unless we have anything else there that I missed. Nothing came through from George. It's been fun tonight. Good questions from so many good people out there. And there might be some questions that you can hit me up with next week. And I'll be putting out some value tomorrow as well. But I want to wish all of you an awesome weekend. For those of you in Asia, your day's beginning, so enjoy your Friday and do some good in whatever you're doing in your business. And then for those of you in North South America, tonight, enjoy your time with your family. It's been awesome spending this evening with you. And I'll see you on the next live. Take care.